Good morning. We're live.
Good morning. Good morning. Good Sunday morning. It is 8:49. We're a little bit late this morning.
Yes. We'll
It's
get
all
back.
good.
Yes.
It's all
I'll
good.
own that.
Oh yeah, it happens. I truly was not ready either. So you alerted me and I got ready. I was just sitting organizing my thoughts. So thank you for alerting me to get ready too.
We got this Sunday morning here. I didn't have time to call.
Oh, girl, it's all good.
I'll
It's
get
real.
that.
It's what it's
Screaming.
what it looks like. And so Sage of Bloom Sundays. We're here today to talk about our main conversation today is I'm reading this sustainable success, creating long term impact. So some of the things that have come up for me, especially with this podcast, right, with Sage and Bloom, and us pivoting along the way, like us, how we started to how we are right now. We've been doing this over a year. And I do have to say, I think we got
Yeah.
something going
Yeah.
here. And so let's talk a little bit about that. Um, and let's talk about like how things have shifted in our lives and our businesses in the last year. Um,
Like an
and
early.
where we Yeah, just let's reflect a little today. I think
Mhm.
reflection is important, especially since we're stepping into this new series of Sage and Blooms that will be happening next Sunday, right?
Yeah.
And so I think by us reflecting, it gives us some space for us to grow into. We can look to see, um, you know, how we are, feeling, how confident we feel about, going forward. What are those areas that we can like step into a little bit more. You know what I mean? We were just talking about that, like using this platform for, just,
Being
re
intentional.
yeah, paying attention, but this is our personal brands, right? Like
Yeah.
the things that, so being intentional about like the impact of this, the impact it can make.
The
So yeah,
the fruitfulness of our relationship,
yeah.
and I think that, yeah, you know.
And so let's start with acknowledging some of the accomplishments. I think I like to start there
Oh,
because it makes you look at the things that you created,
yeah,
right? That you feel really proud of,
yeah.
right? And so you want to start, Waniki, or do you want me to
Yeah,
go
I can
first?
start.
Okay.
And I always have to start by saying, I always tell people I'm in this like partnership with God, right? Like he
Mm,
co-create this, we're co-creating this life. I always say that God is, GPS, and but I have a responsibility to hit the gas, right? I have a responsibility to make the turn that my GPS is telling me to make. And I say that because one of the things that I'm the most proud of is that distinction, like understanding the difference, because it's the difference between like having faith in God, but then also having the immense type of faith and belief in yourself too, that you have to have in order for the partnership to work. Like we have to be in alignment with the belief or the vision that God has for your life. Like you have to see it from God, and then you got to truly believe it enough to act on it. And I think that's one of the things that I'm the most proud of um, over the course of these last 12 months. And this is going to be a good episode because I can feel it in my body right now. So I got to breathe a little bit.
mm. Yeah, that's great.
Because
Yeah, yeah.
that makes me proud. And I say that to say, because of that alignment, within even the last 6 months, I've been able to truly walk in faith. You get what I'm saying? And so really being able, and we talked about like how our relationship has like like flowed, but we've also allowed it to like take on whatever form that it was meant to take, that has led us to here. And I feel like I've been doing that in my life, and I think I'm the most proud of that. So I can't think of, I think I'm sure as this conversation goes, I'll think of more specific things, but I think I'm so proud of the alignment that has created the flow that allows whatever, you know, is going to be an extension of it to come from it. When I think about sustainability, I think that's what it takes. And so I think that I've built a really strong foundation for what it is that is going to take, you
Yeah.
know, from now
Yeah.
and moving forward. So I'm
Yeah.
proud of that. And
Yeah.
I love that we're starting this way. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think a foundation, well, first of all, like noticing that you're building the foundation and building a strong one, and it takes some time to to believe in yourself, right? To really truly believe it. You have to see like evidence of it and constantly remind yourself. And what I'm hearing you say is that this year really solidified that for you, right? Is
Mm.
really solidified that like the person you are, you know what I mean? Remembering, I want to be clear, right? The person you are remembering,
Mm.
right? Because it's really always been there, you know what I mean? But now you're just uncovering it, right? And continuing it to uncover it. And this is the one thing I love about you is like you're very playful, you know what I mean? Like you're playful with it, you know what I'm saying? Curious with
Mm.
it, you know what I mean? And I think that that's what makes it fun when you have that curiosity. Maybe not for everybody. A lot of folks don't like curious people,
Right, right,
right?
right.
Um, I do because I think that that's part of like being a creative, right? Like is really being curious about life. You
Yeah.
know, it's like asking questions to me is like um, part of being a human and part of being able to to experience it. It's like you got to ask questions, you know.
Mm.
And I've noticed like a lot of people, like we've been accustomed to not ask questions.
Mine
And
are
so,
this.
oh my God, like if it burns, sometimes it burns me. Like I get burned like inside, like my stomach burns. Like I used to hold it in, you know what I mean? And now I can't do it anymore. Like,
I don't know that there was ever a time where I held back questions.
yeah, I mean,
My
see,
whole
that's what I mean.
life.
I would in certain instances, in others I wouldn't. But I became accustomed to the pain.
Mm.
Like I like I would ignore it. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? In certain spaces, in other spaces I wouldn't. But then I started to realize I was doing that,
Mm.
you know. And then when I started asking questions, oh my God, it was like the people around me had the this really hard time being with me
Mm.
because I couldn't I couldn't hide it anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
So
started.
anyway,
But I don't want to get
yeah,
too far off topic. I
yeah,
want
I'm
to
done.
hear about you and
Yeah,
when you started
but I
doing
was
so
yeah.
for over
I'm
the last
sorry, I
12
just went
months.
down a
No,
tangent.
that's okay.
Yeah,
I just didn't forget. I made a mental note and I remembered. Boom. I'm proud of myself for that.
yeah.
Memory has
So
been better.
yeah, this year I'm proud of a few things that I've done. Like first, really stepping into like my creative self. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Like being an artist, I'm always creative, right? But my focus has always been getting the bag, right? My focus has been like it has been like making money.
Mhm.
And this year I pivoted to really focusing on my art and focusing on the things I want to do, like sharing stories. You know, I'm a storyteller. You know, I'm excited that I started my like posting on social media. I started this weekend, and it's going to be a daily thing for me. So I'm really proud that it's taken me, like, for real. It's taken me many years to get here, and I feel good. Like, I have faith in myself. I trust myself. Like, I feel really good about, like you said, like the foundation I built,
Yeah.
the practice that I have in, like, battling the demons that come
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
when they're, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they come up, and I gotta face that and stand firm. So those thoughts and feelings go away. You know what I mean? So I got this practice down that I'm actually, I feel really good about. So that's like monumental. And I also, like, saying no. Like, I've been saying no a lot, and I've been getting a lot more invitations to things, but I'm not saying yes to all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being very selective with the invitations, being very intentional about where I'm stepping. Not to say that I wasn't before, but now it's like aligned. You know what I mean? So I'm really proud that through our conversations, because I really do believe that this platform really gave me the structure to, like,
Same.
to have like a foundation in being intentional, right? Because I
Yeah.
think this is that space where it's an
Yeah.
intentional, and for us doing this Sunday mornings, it's kind of like it's blossomed into this really special time, that we share together. So just us continuing to create and be with life, because we're both, entrepreneurs, so we're both dealing with all kinds of stuff, but we still show up authentically to the space, right? And
Yeah.
I have to say that helps to solidify this foundation of, who I am and what I'm here to do and my purpose. So thank you for continuing to show up, and be present and here and lovely. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's what I feel that you are to me. You know what I mean? So I'm proud that we're building this out into some now into this whole new thing. You know what I mean? So I'm just excited, girl.
And I just
Excited.
want to say thank you. Like, as you were speaking, I'm thinking, like, this is what you really do for me. Like, you give words to what I can't really, like, articulate right now, because it seems like we are just always aligned in one way or the other. And because everything is connected, it somehow all, it just starts
Mm-hmm.
to, make sense for me. So as you were saying those things that you were proud of, I'm like, right, that's it. That's it. Like, it's that. And then
Mm-hmm.
because you give words to it, you allow me to see it
Mm-hmm.
faster and more intentionally. So, you know what I'm saying? Which really helps to shape, like, the way I like my thinking moving
Yeah.
forward. So that's
Yeah.
been, I think that's one of the things that this space, I know, has done for me is
Mm-hmm.
it has absolutely expedited. I don't know. I think it just is for me. It has shown me why it's so important for us to, yes, have our private practices and to know how to be with ourselves, but we can't let us knowing how to be with ourselves and that comfort, like, start to create a barrier between us and community and other people. And what I've learned this year is that how I am with myself doesn't necessarily mean that that's how I have to be or I get to be with someone else. And so it's a completely different practice, learning how to be in relationship with, you know what I'm saying, somebody else. And but what happens is, in during that process, is it's showing you really just all the things that for you need to be working on. You know what I'm saying? And the quicker you can wake up to that, the faster you can start to really see yourself and do your work. So I think in private, like, I have my practice, but in community, like that's where I really get to. That's where the growth is. I'm
Mm-hmm.
noticing, like
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
me,
It's mirrors of you.
yeah,
You get to see
yeah,
yourself in other people.
you get to.
You get to see yourself in other people. And that's why I'm very selective
Mm-hmm.
in who I have around me. You know what I mean? And not to say those people are bad people. Let's be clear. You know what I mean? However, I'm very particular. I have a particular sense and a particular conversation that's not for everybody. And, I had to see that for myself because I'm getting this resentment and bitterness and why aren't I getting invited to these things in the back of my head? And then I'm just like, but do you really want to be there?
Mm.
Do you think about it for a minute? I had to sit with myself and be like, no, I don't. You know what I mean? And it's not like that they're doing anything. There's anything wrong out there. It's like I really like where I'm at.
Mm.
I want to be here, not there. I
Mm.
want to be right here. So that's where I've been, is right here, and it's been amazing. Like I'm having such a great time, having so much fun. Like here's the other part I just want to mention, because I heard something what you said that I want to share really quickly, which is consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had a story in my mind about being consistent
Mm.
and what it looks like. But when I look back, I'm like, wait a minute, we have been consistent. And this is a good example.
Mm-hmm.
Like I looked at we have like 20 plus episodes that are been posted on here.
Oh, do we?
Yes. And I'm like, wow, that's a lot. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
I
we.
mean, right. So if we're doing it every week, that's 25 weeks. That's like half a year, right? Almost half a
Don't give me
year.
the line on this live.
You know what I mean? So I'm just like, it takes something to do something 20 plus times.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I do, as I look at what consistency is, right? In real life, not the story that I made up in my head about consistency. The real life consistency is that's what it looks like.
Mm.
Because I'm a multifaceted human being. I got a lot of shit going on.
Mm-hmm.
We running organizations.
Mm-hmm.
We got relationships. I have children. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what consistency looks like, because I look around, I'm like, dang, I started seeing it in other areas of my life. You know what I mean? That I am consistent. I have been being consistent. You know what I mean? But it didn't necessarily look the way that I thought it would look like. You know what I mean? And I had to get real about the big person that I am, the big life that I have, the one that I chose. This is what I chose to do.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So I am a success. I have been consistent. You know what I mean? It's like, it's an affirmation now. It becomes affirming to what is already there. You know
Mm.
what I mean? And so, like, I just wanted to put that out there, because that was the other thing that I noticed was like, girl, you are consistent. Stop telling yourself that.
Yes.
Stop telling yourself that you're not consistent. You know, I am. So, so that's what I mean. It's like once I really got to see, like,
It also
it's. Go ahead, girl.
it just makes me think too, just why it's so important for people to create and to really
Yeah.
let what lives in your head to, like, it deserves us to be able to take up space outside in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for us, the other thing that I value is that we didn't really focus too much on like aesthetic in terms of we can't do this until it looks like this, and this. Like one of the things that allowed us, I think, to be consistent is that we understood that we just needed to do it. We just needed to build the habit of doing it. You know what I'm saying? And then we could figure out how to we would get to this point eventually. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that we made it easier for ourselves to be consistent.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, move
Yeah.
some of those barriers, and we just made it easier for ourselves. And so,
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I think, you know, yeah, the consistency part does come when you just are in action, right? Like,
yeah, you just
and I
got to.
think you just got to do it. And, yeah, I'm really excited about like our next steps in
Yeah.
this space.
And I
I'm looking
really
at
love
my,
that we're doing it this way. I'm sorry to cut you off, but
no, no, go ahead.
I really just hope that, whoever finds this, whenever they do, like, I just really hope that it encourages somebody to just start where you are and to really just do it. If it's something that you just keep thinking about and it's just on in the back of your head for whatever reason, like, it's there for a reason. And what I've learned is that generally the thing that initially grabs you is not the real thing. It's not even a fraction of it, but it's just to get you going. So it's just like, if you find this, then just do it. And then just, you know what I'm saying? From there, take the information or the feedback from it and then apply it to the next thing and then do it again. And just, it's just, life is just a culmination of doing it. Just doing it one
Yeah.
time, just deciding to do it and then deciding to do the next thing again and again and again. And just
I think
man. And then you get to see our transformation real time, because this is true.
yeah,
Like, we're just doing it.
yeah. I think it is also, there's a lot of, and I think this is the practice that I was talking about, that I think is the, I think what really gets you to be in the space of just being in action, because I think that our minds keep us safe, you know what I mean? And our minds, and you say that all the time, like, keep us in
Mhm.
this safe, comfortable space. And I think that, a lot of the work is really just in your mind, and to be in action is like, it's really an outcome of a practice of whatever that is for you. Mine is just, noticing it and just saying, that's
That's
choosing something else.
yeah.
I see it and I'm just like, well, that doesn't work. That doesn't work for me. This is that thing is what moves me. I want that. You know what I mean? And I think for a lot of folks, they get stopped, right? And they get stuck. And I know so many people to tell me things like, um, um, I have to work this job. I
Hmm.
have to, I don't have time after work because I'm so exhausted from the job. I've even known somebody to have a really great idea, saved up money, did all the things, and was ready, and went ahead and quit their job and did the business, and it didn't work. You know why? Because he didn't have the mindset down, and he did it for, I don't know, he tried it for like 6 months, a half a year or something, and then he went back to work, you know um and he went back to work, and we talked about it and he told me about it, and it was really the mindset. He wasn't ready in his mind. Because look, your brain will put you to sleep. It will just put you to sleep and just be like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna go take a nap. You know what I mean? And then you go lay down, and next thing you know, it's 6 o'clock. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then you're like, damn, the whole day is gone.
Yeah, and
You know
that
what
just
I mean?
to the pre-nap, the nap or the pre
Well, look,
call it my pre-sleep, because then I'm like, well, I just might as well get ready for bed now. And so I
right.
wake up and then get ready for bed and go to
But
sleep.
see, but see,
Get there.
but when, but that happens so much that you
Yep,
can't get anything done. That's your brain sitting your ass down.
yep,
That's fear. That's what I'm saying. It's like, so there's a lot of this
yep.
work that you got to do.
Got to do it. You
You
can't.
know what I mean? Because once you jump in, you that there's that thing that you said you were going to do,
Mm,
and your word is bond, right? So
mm.
you know, so yeah, girl, like I'm so excited because I have put down, like I said to myself, I'm like, we've done this for a year. You know how many other things I've done for so much time? Like I mean, it's like it's become a part of me now.
Mm. Part of the cadence.
Yeah, it's not like it's not separate. It's not over there. It's this.
Mm,
It's here. It's
mm.
inside of me. You know. And so like so that's why I'm just like,
Giving me chills.
girl, look, I'm ready. I like look. So I did my first post,
I saw it. I loved it. I loved it. And it
and
motivated, and it also motivated me. I'm like, right, get your shit together, girl. Come on.
so
It was so good.
I wanted to be very vulnerable with it because this is like the fourth time that I've tried doing this,
Mm,
right? And I said, Vanessa, and it literally, it took me all week to get to that point, to do that 1 minute video. And I'm so glad that I took that time because I got to ideate how I wanted it to look and what I wanted to say and how to create a structure around it. So I got that down, right? So
period.
now it's so easy now,
You have a template.
right? Now I got my template, right? So and it literally took me an hour. It took me an hour to make the thing, to say the thing, and I did it like 4 or 5 takes. I did it, and then finally I was like, I tried everything, and I was like, girl, just say it,
Just do it.
just say it, just say it. Like don't have a script because that looks weird. Like you shouldn't. Yeah, this doesn't look right for you. So I said, I'm just gonna say it, right? And so I did, and it was perfect. It for me. You know what I mean? It came out. I was like, okay, that's perfect. Let's go. And so out of all of the reels that I've done within the time that I did it, I posted it. It's been like maybe 18 hours. I've gotten more views in this one day than I've gotten in all of the other reels that I created.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, so this is it. This now I got the template, like you said, I got the
Mm-hmm.
template. It could take me an hour. I could do 3, 4, 5 of these a day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Be done. And then my whole week, I got my whole week
Plan
work
out.
planned out. I could just boom.
You're motivating me.
And
No
so like,
excuses.
but this is what I'm saying is like this is and everything I already had. So I already knew how to use the app because I've been playing around with it. You know what I mean? I already know where to post. I know I have all of the equipment already because I already bought everything. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. It's like if I got everything I need, then
What
just
am
do
I doing?
this shit.
Just
What
do
am I,
it.
what's in my way? You know what's in my way? This thing that I've mastered. So it's not in my way anymore.
That is not in my way
It's not in
anymore.
my way.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
It's so great, girl. I'm having so much fun
I
with
feel
this.
like I'm there. I know that I'm there with you because I'm like, I got it. Like I've just been in my comfort zone. And it's crazy because it reminds me that like comfort zones change because as you change, and those are the seasons. And for me, what I believe in my life, what I find is that the tension happens when the season has changed, but I'm still operating like it's that other season because I've gotten comfortable now. Because by the time you get to the end of the season, you're in flow already. You know what I'm saying? And if you're growing, then it's on to the next. But when you don't realize it, I think that's how you collapse time. The moment you realize, oh, this is a new season, let me start acting like it. You know what I mean? It becomes that thing. But I'm saying that to say, like, why did I start this? What did you say? And I know it's gonna be good. So remind me.
I was talking about, girl, you just doing that. This made me forget.
Wow, why did I do that?
It's okay. It's okay.
It'll come.
It'll come back.
Mm-hmm.
It'll come back. So wait, so there was another question that I wanted to ask about, and I kind of brought it up a little bit, but I kind of put it in a, I would say in a kind of negative light, which is rest, right? And I said, if you're sleeping all day, but I meant it like, if that is all you're doing and you're just sleeping, then there's something that's stopping you. That's what I meant. But there is a rest component that I think is very important. That is also foundational in being a creative, an entrepreneur. Because I really do believe most entrepreneurs are creative because you're always in a space of creation, right? Like,
Yes.
Like in the space of tension and all of that. That's a creative.
Constantly, sorry to cut you off. It just came entering, and you just made me think of it when you said constantly in that state of creation. You're constantly entering and exiting like different states of comfort zones and mastering. That's where I was going with it. And like I had a specific cadence before this particular part of my life, these last 7 years, and realizing that, oh, okay, I got comfortable here. So now it's time for me to push myself outside of my comfort zone to keep going. And that's what, hearing you say that made me think, like, as a creative, as an entrepreneur, yes, you're going to make a stop someplace because you do have to take time to build that thing or create it, whatever the thing is. But then once it's there, it's time to go again and again. If you're always in, creation.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think there is a level of comfortability and familiarity that that humans feel like, I think, they have this idea about, like, that's what success looks like in a way, you know what I mean? But it is kind of living in this state of tension. And I think that's why a lot of people I think that, everybody's got a different state of consciousness. So there's no wrong kind of consciousness that anyone is at, you know what I mean? Just to put that in there. But being in this tension, this state, is not for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just not. Because it does require a bit of strength and fortitude to sustain oneself through this tension. And so, like, I've noticed, like, I don't tell people the dark and dirtiness of what this looks like, right? Because there's dark and dirty with everything, you know what I mean?
Also, it's kind of like, when so when you're on your own journey, you don't really need to know the details to know that they exist. It's just that understanding.
For those that are
not
see, this is the thing. It's like, I think a lot of our conversation is going to be to people that are interested in expanding themselves, right? And I think that, you gotta get yourself ready to be in that tension. You know what I mean?
Got to be willing.
And you got to be willing to
to-
be in it,
Yeah.
because it's not pretty. It's not fun. Sometimes there's some things that I don't like to do, that for me to continue to create sustainability, I got to do it.
Mhm.
There's some people that I don't really want to talk to at all that I got to talk to. I got to be around. You know what I mean? In a different sense, right? Like, so I think that for some folks who say that they're interested in this, in being an entrepreneur or creative, it does take something to kind of be inside of that tension. And if you're willing, to do that, takes a lot of mind mastery. That's
Yeah. It's one of the most important things. You just got to be
yeah.
willing to put the work in and the time, and the time in to know yourself.
Yeah.
Like do your work to know yourself. It really,
Yeah.
it's no way around it. I think it always comes back to it. No matter what comes first for you in your life. For some people, it could be money, but then it's the mental part. For some people, it's the mental, then it's the money or the spirit, whatever it is. Like everything is connected, so you got to work on everything to be, you know what I'm saying, at your best, in my opinion. So at some point, it's gonna come back around.
Right. It
Your,
always
your
comes back
thinking,
around. It always comes back around.
it will come back around.
It will. You know what I mean? It will. It will come back around. I see. This is like, but see, like for me, I've done this for so long that it's so much fun. Right now, I'm like playing these really cool games. Just like creating these great games in my life, and now I'm like asking really interesting questions to people. And now actually people are coming up to me, which is really cool, and asking me like deep questions, like out the box,
Oh, I love
you
that.
know? And I just was like, ooh, see, this is what I'm talking about. Yes. And this woman, she came up to me, she said something, I don't remember what she said. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry for being so deep, so, so early, or, so, so soon as you walk in the door.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I live for questions like that.
I need to work on my depth perception because I don't know. I think that I don't realize that I ask, like I know some questions can be deep. Like I know when I'm intentional and I'm asking a question that's more like a root question, but there most of the times I'm not thinking at all like that. I'm just really curious. And
Yeah.
so I don't really know that it's deep. And I think it's the same thing with people. Like when they're asking me questions, I wonder if they think that they're being deep with me. And meanwhile, I'm just like, or, like, I don't know. I just don't have a perception of like deep. I think it's just about the way you ask a question. And I can
I
talk
think
about,
that's what it,
I can talk
I
about
think that's, you ask questions. So when I say deep, I mean it like, it has
you thought about it,
substance.
intentional.
It has substance.
Mhm.
It's not just flat like the weather, or
But see, I can do that if you have a reason for being curious for the weather. Like if it's
well,
like,
no, I'm not saying that it's wrong.
yeah.
I'm just saying that it does all of those. Question is a question, and it could lead to all different types of things. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It was just her approach,
Yeah, I see what you're
and
saying.
she probably saw my face, and I didn't. There was nothing on it, because I know there was nothing on it, but it just, I was listening to what she said. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think because she looked at my reaction, or she thought it was a reaction, and it wasn't. And so that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But the kind of question that she asked had substance.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And you ask those questions, girl. You ask very substantive questions. You know what I mean? I'm not, and you can't talk about the way I do it all the time. I walk into Trader Joe's and talk to the lady behind the thing, and she's like, "Oh, I heard it's cool out there," and I'll be like, "Yeah, it's cold." You know, we start talking about Chicago weather. There's nothing wrong with that either. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, I think for me, I'm saying that could probably feel like a deep conversation to me. I don't know, like it's
Yeah.
always like more of the essence,
Yeah.
more so than. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Okay. Let's look at some of these questions that I have written
Let's
down.
do it.
Hold on.
Do it. Man, okay, I'm excited for this. I think I like,
too.
as you're looking for the questions, I think I like shooting at my granny's house. I like the greenery.
Oh, in her background? Yeah.
I'm thinking I might make that my little place.
Oh, that sounds cool. Okay, so go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No,
you go ahead.
Oh, if you're ready with the question, you know.
I'm not ready yet. So you go ahead.
I'm screaming. No, I was just saying I was thinking about finding a place in my house to be a little bit more intentional, you know, with the background. But I was looking at last week's and I'm like, you know what? I really like that. I don't mind that.
Yeah, I kind of set my background up a little bit to be, you know, I got this and I got this other piece of art right here. I got a little wall, my art wall. I mean, but I got art all over my wall. So.
I love that period. Little flex.
I do. What does it mean to create something that lasts? How do you know when it's time to pivot versus stay on course? Okay, here's a good question.
Okay.
We could do some ideating. What do you want your impact to look like 5 or 10 years from now?
I think exactly what it is now in terms of just people. You know, I'm realizing like my ability to just be with people. And just no matter where I go, I'm just gonna always see somebody in some way, shape. It's just always like that. And I think that's just been evidence of who I've been, you know, just to myself and just in the world consistently over like my lifetime. And I think that for me brings me so much joy. I'm realizing, you know what I mean? And I would love for that to just be the legacy. I think of people like Crystal, and I always shout her out because she just shows me. She's intentional to do it. And I initially, it was so different, you know, but now I receive it, but it's just like, it's that if, you know, for me, it's just always been this concept of, I promise y'all, I'm not doing anything that nobody else can do. You know what I'm saying? Like truly from the South side of Chicago, went to a high school that most of my Harlan, you know, and I love that. I mean, I just had my background I'm very grateful for it, you know, so I had the hood and the suburbs. I had a mix, which made me like, you know, wide range. But I'm saying that to say that academic probation when I was in college, almost got kicked out because of my grades. You know what I'm saying? Like just I've had so many different paths, all of these things, and it's all worked together for this moment. So it's like, man, you can do it. You can do it. There's no reason why you can't do it. And I think that's where the tough love comes from for me, is because I know that I know what I've been able to create from nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and I know I'm not different. No different from nobody. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? So it's like literally the only difference is I just decided that I was going to believe that I could do it no matter what. That's the only difference. And I promise you, I started out from knowing nothing, zero.
Yeah.
I was a math teacher. I taught math. And before that, I just did teen outreach programs. I was a facilitator. I have a single degree in English. I minored in communications, and I taught you get what I'm saying? Like, I did the military for 10 years, but I promise you, you know what I'm saying? Like I look over my life and I'm like, nothing has been extraordinary for real. Like it's been good, but nothing has just been like to the point where it's like, how did she do that? it's just, I've just allowed myself to have those moments. And now I'm looking back and I'm like, okay, well, let's put it all together then, you know? But if I could do that, you could do that. And that's the whole point of this, I feel like. And it brings me joy. And I just to bring it back to Crystal, like to see somebody who says that, like, man, G, like you keep going, like you're doing like really confirms that. And then I see it in my kids when I see them, and they like, man, you help me with this, you know, because sometimes I just don't even realize it. I bump into them. Sometimes they hit me up because they need help with getting it, you know, they want to go back to school, whatever it is. And it's just like, that's what this is about. And I think long term, it's creating systems and structures that can support what has been like grassroots, you know what I'm saying, to impact more people that way. Like that's it. You get what I'm saying? Like every single resource is, this ain't for me. This shit ain't for me. It's just I literally only want it just to show you it's possible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like truly. Because I just
Yeah.
believe that. I believe that. And I believe that. Anything, I really do believe that. Anything is
Yeah.
possible. I do. And why not me? It's one of those things where it's like,
Right.
let's stop separating ourselves and making people exceptional. So we make ourselves the, you know, they're the exception. So no, bro. No. You become the exception the moment you decide that, well, if they're the exception, why not me too then? I'm gonna be the exception too then. How about that? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the legacy. How do we create a structure that plants those types of seeds in our kids at a younger age, and then support a structure that supports that thinking? You get what I'm,
Right.
pipelines,
Right.
that it nurtures it.
Right. Yeah. All I'm hearing is amplifying what you're already doing, just to
And have been
amplify
doing
it.
all my life.
Yeah.
Being
Yeah. Yeah. And
intentional.
have been doing. Yeah. Yeah. That's
More
all I'm hearing. And that's essentially what I was gonna say too. Because, and I've had, I think when you've been called to something, there's always been a calling for me.
Mhm.
And a lot of my life didn't really make a whole lot of sense. The choices that I made didn't make a whole lot of sense when I made them. And now I see why I made those choices. I see it in the impact that I've made with people that I didn't even know I made an impact with, because they never said anything to me. And thus, running into them years later and them telling me the story of the impact that I made on them, it just confirms that I'm on the right path, right?
Mhm.
I'm on this path of remembering, essentially. It's like, oh yeah, I do know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yes, like we
You
talked.
know what I mean? I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And so, like, even that, like, yeah, I mean, so I see the same in 5 to 10 years. It's just the continual growth and amplification of what I've been up to my whole life.
Yes, yes. What you've been doing your whole life.
My whole life, girl. Like, and when you're thinking back through some of the things that happened to you in your past, it reminded me of some of the things that I've been through. And now it's like now I see it different. It's a whole other, like, way of thinking about my past, and realizing that if this is truly now, and I love myself, then everything that has happened was a blessing, you know?
Mhm.
And so, like, for a long time, I was real pissed off
About things.
about a whole lot of shit,
Mhm.
you know, about the certain that what happened to me when I was a kid and so forth and so on. But then I realized that my parents were really there for me for them to give me the life that I needed to be the person that I am right now. You know what I mean?
Our
And
family,
so, yeah,
our families
yeah,
that we're born to, like that's why
right,
we're
right,
literally attached to the assignment. You need
right. I needed that to be the way that it was for me to be the person that I am now.
today.
And so it came to me one day when I was just when I was in that space of creation and rest, and when I had a good night's sleep and a belly full of yummy food that I cooked, like that's what comes to me. Like, it's okay, Vanessa. Like think about this, So yeah, I have the utmost respect for every person and every one that I've come in contact with. I might not ever talk to you again. Some of them people, I'm like, that's okay. I don't need to talk to you. But thank you for showing up in my life the way you showed up.
And for what you showed me about myself.
And what you showed me about myself.
And
Thank
to
you.
your point too, it just shout out to my homegirl Happy. It's a conversation that we had maybe last year, and she was saying that her mom told her, because we were kind of talking about this whole thing and of just like acceptance and accepting your experiences and especially if you say that you love yourself today, like if you can say that today you are truly happy with who you are, you're thinking like the world, the reality that you are co-creating for yourself today. Like if you're happy with that, then one thing that Happy told me that her mom told her, which is something that I take with me, is just then that means that you don't want anything to be different in your past, because if anything were different, any one thing were different, then that means that today everything would be different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's this, and it kind of puts this whole concept of shoulda, coulda. Like if I wouldn't have done this, maybe I would have gotten here faster. And it's like, okay, cool, but who would you be? And would you like that person? Would you be okay with that person? And then what part of what would you have missed out on? You know what I mean? It's just because every part it meant something, it mattered. If you see it that way, it can mean something, and it added to who you are today. So the part, you don't want to erase it, it's just that you don't understand it yet, and it's just the lack of understanding. So you want to go back so that you can understand the experience, so that you can see what it's done for you today. Because if any one thing would have been different, you don't want you if you love yourself and
Right.
what you're creating today. That's the caveat to all of this.
Right.
If you do, then you got to know that if any one thing in your past would have been different, then everything today would be different. And so,
yeah, it is what it is, man. That's why I see this. These are the thoughts that I have when I'm sitting back, and I'm like, dang, man. I'm like, wow, when my perspective shifted in that way, then everything changed. Even how I saw my past, that all changed. And so like that to me that's what transformation looks like. You know what I mean? That's what, like when you talk about collapsing time and space, like that's what that looks like. So now all there is for us to be. That's it. I never understood that when people were like, oh, you just need to, what is being? I never understood it. But I was being. That's probably why I didn't get it. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? It's silly, But now I get it. I'm just like,
it's the difference between knowing and understanding. Like we've known, but now we understand. And when you
now we get it.
understand, you can be wise because you can apply that knowledge and be.
Yeah. Now I can be. Yeah. So I'm loving this whole year from 2020, the end of 2024 you know. Yeah, I mean, to now, this all of the changes that happened in my life, and I'm just so grateful um, that they happened. You know, it reminds me of something that Fonda said about pain. You know, and how pain is actually not a bad thing. You know what I mean? It's kind of how we, how we know like that there's something there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's profound for us to 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 break through. You know, and so that's how I all of those moments, and I look back on it, and a lot of that was perceived, right? Like it wasn't real. Like I wasn't like hurting, but I was making myself hurt because of what I thought was in my way. And it was just a thought. It wasn't real because I'm still here. You know what I mean? And so now I'm like, oh, dang. And so now I get to let all of that go. I get to let all of that go. And now it's just, there's nothing there. Like, you know what I mean? Now that I've let everything go, there's nothing there for it. And now I get to really create from this thing, from my heart. You know, I get to write from here, and I get to be from here. I get to create whatever it is that I'm going to create from that. And I have to say, is a blessing. Like it truly, all that all of that worry, you know. Oh my God, I was worrying so bad in August, in September. I was so worried. You know, it was like my worst nightmare had come true, and that my worst nightmare is like being homeless, right?
Hmm.
And God came to me and said, "I'm gonna make this right for you. I'm gonna make this right for you." And and when I do, you cannot not trust me anymore.
Hmm.
And I said, okay, and I didn't know how it was going to show up. I didn't know, you know, how it was going to happen, but it happened. It, it happened. And I was like, what the fuck? Out of nowhere, unexpected, and had me crying. I was crying. I was like a baby weeping.
God is so good because God will make sure that you know it's God.
Man, weeping.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so after that, I was like, Vanessa, just sit down, sit yourself down, and just be. And so that's what I've been doing since then. And I have to say, I'm having so much
Yeah.
fun. I'm finally like, just sit your ass down, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
love
great,
it.
so great.
Whew. Hmm.
So, so we're almost at an hour,
Yes.
and
8 minutes.
so so I'm going to talk a little bit about, just really brief, about the next couple of weeks, the next 8 weeks. So we're pivoting a little bit and inviting some of the amazing people in our lives to come and share with us on Sage and Bloom. So we're going to be having some guests every week. Really excited to
What it looks like.
expand our conversation to, it's too dope to just keep it between Wanaki and I. Like we got to bring some other folks on
And
and share.
it's always so like I always just
It
walk away with
is,
so much when we
man.
bring to
I
that
just
conversation.
feel light. I be
Yeah.
looking forward to it, girl. I be like,
Yeah. I'm
I'm
always
like,
like,
where's
what am I
Wanaki
gonna learn?
at?
What am I gonna learn with this guest? I love
Oh
that.
my God. So yeah, so I'm really excited to, we're really excited to bring this edition, at least for the next 2 months. And then we'll have some other updates as we go on about other
This next week.
other types of ways to continue to create community around like these like thoughtful, intentional conversations that really deepen our relationships with other humans, right? Because I think having those relationships with people, it creates a connectedness that makes you know you're alive.
Yeah.
And I think that this is some of the things that why I enjoy these conversations. But to me, if I feel like we need to bring other folks on so we can so they can experience what we experience in these conversations. So I'm really excited. We'll have more coming up soon about what that looks like. Please check us out. We'll be on social media soon and be posting on there. But yeah, do you want to add anything, Wanaki, to that?
I'm really just in that mode. You in that mode. You don't really have a whole lot to say.
Okay.
I'm just in that mode. We can end with our. I mean, if it's something to take away, I think me it's go time. Like that's my takeaway. It's once you know it, and once you understand it, you have a responsibility to apply it, or live in tension. And something's gonna give though. But so I'm like, it's really that time to, and I'm so happy we're doing this live, and this will be stamped in history and in time, and I can come back to this, November 2nd, 2025, to know that it's time to apply knowledge.
Yeah.
Let's move wisely. It's that time. We got to be wise. We got to be intentional. We're communal people. You know what I'm saying? We're created to create together. We're supposed to be together. So we have to learn how to do this. And it's an honor to be able to be on this journey of learning how to do this, real time with someone who's willing to do the same. It's proof that it's possible. You know what I mean? Because it's happening right now. And I'm very excited for what will be, like the fruits of our intentions joined together, like what that will create. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, same year. I'm, this is I've been living for conversations like this, right? Like I told you before, this is 15 years in the making for me, So I too am excited about continuing down this road. After a year, I'm just so happy to have met you. That one day I wasn't going to come out, and I came out, and we met, and ever since then it's been just a phenomenal experience with you. So I'm excited to continue to expand this into the last months of the year into next year, to and broaden this conversation, expand it to people that we love, and amplifying this kind of message, I guess.
Yeah, just being more of what we want to see. We can stop talking about what we don't have. Let's be it.
Right. Yes.
So I'm excited.
Yeah. Yes. Woo-hoo!
Let's do it then. I'm excited.
Me too. Okay. Well, anything coming up next week, or anything that you want to end with?
I will say, just on the business side, I know I need to be more intentional, just with Elevate Greatness and the fundraising and the updates. We're going into the holiday season. Don't sleep on Chicago Kid. Hoodies will be in full effect. And so definitely, if you haven't already, you see this, check out the website, www.elevategreatnessshy.org, www.elevategreatnessshy.org. Check out our merch. We definitely need all the support that we can take to continue these pipelines and these projects. The work is happening. And I'm very grateful to lead this work. And now it's time for me to be more intentional about the support that is needed in order to continue this work. It's important. Our kids need support. They deserve intentional pipelines that help guide them to different outcomes. Right? We're very clear on our school to prison pipelines, very intentional, and so we have to be intentional with the structures. Again, when we go back to legacy, like the structures that we create to make it easier for our kids, you know, to pass through. And so this is the work. This is what we're doing to elevate greatness, and we need support. So check out the website. You can find me on Instagram at Wanaki Marie. You will see it there, and all of my social media handles and the website and all of those things and ways you can support are connected. Purchase the merch. Don't sleep on Chicago Kids. Hoodies are always on sale. And it's for anybody who's from Chicago. Once a Chicago kid, always a Chicago kid. When you get those hoodies, it's a declaration telling people not to sleep on you for all the reasons that they try to give us to sleep on ourselves, for all the adversity. Those are those same things. I think, like we talked about, like being born into our families, like the things that we experience, all of those things make us who we are as Chicago kids. And it's for all of those reasons, especially if you made it to this page, that people should know not to sleep on you. Because if you can, it's one of them. It's just one of them things, So all support is needed and welcome. And I'm grateful for all the support that we've had so far. I look forward to the future partnerships. And that's all I got.
Boom. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. And for myself, I'm walking in on, starting this posting on social media structure. So I'm looking forward to that. And you can check me out on Instagram and TikTok. So VEEC Stokes is my handle. And yeah, I'm starting my, just continuing to build the same thing, right? Like I'm, fundraising for Out West Gallery and Cafe on the west side, next to Pop Courts on Chicago Avenue in Lockwood, and just really excited to continue to build out my vision for a restaurant cafe in a community gallery space. And a lot of these conversations that we're having here are going to be embedded inside of this space and making it a healthy place for us to build community, but then have some nice yummy food. I'm a foodie. I love cooking and just everything in the kitchen I love. So I'll be coming out with more interesting, inspiring stories that I will be sharing on Westside Review, which is my publication that is focusing on the west side of Chicago and then all the things that impact the west side. So that is a space where I'll be sharing my stories, focusing on economic development, starting on Chicago Avenue, our namesake city named street. And yeah, just focusing on there's a bunch of really interesting developments happening on Chicago Avenue. And I think this definitely going to impact the west side. But there's a lot of other really cool developments happening in other communities that I'm going to be writing about. Really excited about doing that research and investigation and talking to people, interviewing and writing all about it. So please check me out, Westside Review, on Substack. And that's it for now. I got a million other things, but I think
those be intentional to space for it at the end of every one, because what have we been doing?
Yeah, but that's like the things that I think are the most
important right now.
That's what I'm really focusing on is like my writing, my photography, and Out West Gallery and Cafe, and doing the capital stack fundraising for an actual development. So having a lot of fun doing that too. It's been so much fun. And more to come. I'm not going to talk about it right now, but yeah, it's just so much fun. Yeah.
I'm excited. Oh, one last thing. So every other Wednesday, so every bi-weekly, I do a podcast that I have, Teaching from the Middle. And so I will be live on YouTube on my personal YouTube page. I think that's Wanaki Marie as well. And I'll be interviewing an artist. Oh my gosh. I don't want to mess it up, so I'll just tell you offline. But it's going to be really, really good. And so, Teaching from the Middle, the concept is just really the mindset part of my own journey and the mental part of my guests' journey, of their journey. Just how do you master your mind and have the courage, build the courage to step out where you are right now, which could feel like that middle space. Because we're going to always feel like it's more that we got someplace else to be, we'll always be have something behind us. So we'll kind of always find ourselves in the middle. So how do we find the courage to step out and do the things that we're talking about on this podcast, and creating and things like that? What is that mental process? For me, I think it's just extremely important for me to have those types of conversations as well, with that's really aligned to like business and strategy specifically, just because that's the season. You know what I mean? And so what's the mental process? What makes you feel worthy to step out to lead in your space right now? That for me is what Teaching from the Middle is. That's my challenge to myself right now. That's what this is. So I'll be live this Wednesday at 7 p.m. So, if you catch this before then, please join us. It'll be fun.
Awesome. That's really great. That's really great.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, y'all.
Let's do it. I'm excited. And until next week.
Yeah, until next week, everybody. Thank you.
Bye. I'm going to end this stream.